From Kern Government Television, welcome to this week's Kern County Board of Supervisors meeting. Originating from the County Administrative Center, located at 1115 Truxton Avenue in Bakersfield, California. Grounded in ideas, energy, and innovation, Kern County's vision is to be a driving force for the world's fifth largest economy. And our mission is to exceed expectations of the communities we serve, changing the way they feel about government, those who manage it, and the services it provides. Today's Kern County Board of Supervisors meeting will convene momentarily.
Okay, board to reconvene. Good morning, Kathy Kress. No? It shows on. Can you hear me now? Okay, reset. Board to reconvene. Kathy Krause, good morning to you. Would you please tell us who's here?
Good morning. Supervisor Peters.
Here.
Supervisor Parlier.
Here.
Supervisor Flores.
Here.
Supervisor Couch.
Here.
Supervisor Perez.
Thank you so very much. Good morning to you, members of the public. There are agendas at the back of the room on the tables for any of you wishing to follow along. Have a sense of how our meeting will be laid out this morning. We start usually with a salute to the flag, and we have the great opportunity to present often our own local heroes to the community to tell a bit about their lives and to be able to honor them as they lead us in the flag salute. Today, we have before us U.S. Army Specialist Adan Montalvo, a lifelong resident of Lamont. Enlisted in the U.S. Army at the age of 17, not that long ago. Became an infantry indirect fire crewman. His service would take him all the way to Europe, where he spent the better part of his service in the frigid winters of Germany. After completing his enlistment, Mr. Montalvo returned to the States and worked at a cotton gin for 10 years before he and his brother opened their own upholstery and vinyl top shop. Married 40 years, 2 children, 6 grandchildren, 3 great-grandchildren, Mr. Montalvo, now retired, enjoys his blessings that are his grandkids and his great-grandkids. What a legacy. Sir, thank you for your service, and thank you for leading us this morning.
Salute and pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Thank you, Adan. Thank you. Couch is lucky you're his constituent. Okay. Next, we move to the Pet of the Week, and you know that our director, Nick Cullen, has been down in Los Angeles helping our furry friends from all over the state. I really appreciate your expertise, Nick, that you were able to help and share with our neighbors. Thank you. But we missed you. Welcome back.
Thank you.
Who do you got?
Madam Chair, members of the board, our board pet of the week is Scruffy, aka Mr. Scruff. He's available for adoption this morning. He's still a pup. He's only less than a year. He's a terrier mix, and he's available for adoption at the Kern County Animal Shelter.
Oh, my goodness.
Good luck. I like your scarf. Yeah, we'll see you.
See you, Scruff.
It's good to have you back, Nick. Okay, we're going to move to the consent agenda. Again, there are agendas at the back of the room for those of you wishing to follow along. Please do so. It is helpful to understand the order of the meeting. Consent matters begin on page 2, and they include items 2 through 4, as well as 7 and 8. On page 3, items 9 through 15. Those are all the items listed. On page 4, all items listed 16 through 23. On page 5, all items listed 24 through 31. On page 6, items 32 through 35, and then 37 through 39. We will hear 36 in its normal order. On page 7, items 40 to 42. Are there any members of the public who would like to comment on consent? Consent matters are considered by the staff and the county family to be routine, but if there's a member of the public who feels otherwise, we certainly want to hear from you, and now's the time to do so on a matter on consent. Not public presentations yet. Jess?
Number 10?
Number 10. Yes, that would be number 10.
Okay.
Good morning.
Good morning. Name's Jess Sanders. Just, this department seems to have an idea that all we got to do is throw money at it. And I think if the Kern County taxpayers ran their homes budget the way some of this stuff goes, we'd all be in bankruptcy. So just throwing more money at things is not the problem. We don't have an income problem. We have a spending problem and a control problem. So what I'm asking for is a Doge approach to our county budget. We can find a lot of this money that's being wasted because it got too much here and shifted there. It wasn't ever spent. Look at our homeless problem. Millions of dollars spent on our homeless now, and we still have millions of homeless because it's being misappropriated. If we just took the Doge approach in Kern County with our monies, we probably wouldn't have to raise these taxes and keep answering these requests for more money. I think we can just reshift some of the money we already have. Appreciate it.
Jess, thank you.
Thank you.
Elsa, can I ask CAO's office to weigh in on this matter and help give us all some context? Looks like Elsa is making her way to the podium. Thank you, Elsa. I appreciate it. We're still in the middle of consent. We have concerns from the public about item 10, so our county expert is going to weigh in and help us consider the factors.
Good morning, Madam Chair and members of the board. Actually, this item is the opposite. It is savings. So at the end of the fiscal year, the county, in the accounting world, we have to estimate the money we owe, for which we have not received invoices for. That is a requirement to have proper financial statements. So in the world of government, the departments have 90 days to receive those invoices, make the adjustments necessary. And if they book an expense because they incur a cost, they estimated the cost and they were gonna get an invoice, if the invoice happens to be less, that's a saving. So this item is not, we're not spending money, we're saving money. I just want to clarify that.
I appreciate that. You know how confusing this looks on the agenda, and these are often terms of art that are complex, so I really appreciate that. It's beyond my expertise, so thank you. Jess, I hope that was helpful. We can also meet separately about those particular items and comprehend them better. It would help me too, so I appreciate it. Any other members of the public want to comment on matters on consent? Otherwise, we're going to close the public hearing and return to my colleagues.
Motion on consent.
Thank you. Thank you, Supervisor. We have a motion and a second. Please cast your votes.
The motion is approved. All ayes.
Okay, we're going to move to resolutions and proclamations on page 2, the very top. Item number 1 is a resolution honoring probation supervisor Michael Forrest, Kern County Probation Department, upon his retirement with 28 years of dedicated service to the County of Kern, 28 years. Supervisor Parlier will handle this matter.
Motion approved.
Second.
Motion and a second. Please cast your votes.
The motion is approved. All ayes.
Good to see our probation director, Bill Dickinson. Always a pleasure. Good morning to you.
Come on over, guys. Madam Chair, my colleagues, Board of Supervisors, this morning I have the honor and privilege of recognizing and commending Probation Supervisor Michael Forrest. Upon his retirement with 28 years of dedicated service to Kern County, at this time, I'd like to recite the resolution that we have prepared for him on this occasion. Michael T. Forrester began his career with the Probation Department in July 1996 as a group counselor, extra help, where he was assigned to supervise youth in custody at the James G. Bowlings Juvenile Hall, and in 1999 was promoted to group counselor and assigned to the Kern Crossroads facility. And in 2001, Officer Forrest was promoted to Deputy Probation Officer and assigned to the Early Intervention Unit, where he worked with youth deemed at risk for future delinquency. In 2004, Officer Forrest was transferred to the Custody Intake Unit, where he worked and processed the intake of all youth being placed into probation youth facilities and displayed cooperation, professionalism, and a strong ethic. And in 2007, Officer Forrest promoted to Deputy Probation Officer 3 and was assigned to Camp Ern Owen, where his strong work ethic allowed him to quickly learn scheduling, operations, and the ability to effectively supervise personnel. And in 2009, Officer Forrest was transferred to the Placement Unit, where he was assigned a caseload of wards in out-of-home placement. There, he successfully worked with the youth and their families by developing good rapport and maintaining focus on youth rehabilitation. And in 2012, Officer Forrest was transferred to the Court and Community Schools Unit, where he helped youth transition back to regular schooling, and in 2018 was transferred to Juvenile Supervision, where he supervised youth and helped in their rehabilitation process while holding them accountable for their actions. And in 2020, Officer Forrest was transferred to the Youth Detention Facility, where he led an in reentry ADA and programming unit and responsible for daily operations of the facility. And in 2022, Officer Forrest was promoted to Probation Supervisor and was assigned to the Adult Programs and Supports Unit, where he led his staff in the delivery of evidence-based programs to adult offenders. His work in this unit has truly afforded offenders the opportunity to change their lives. And Officer Forrest retired on February 8th, 2025, and his dedication and commitment to service and public has earned him the respect and admiration of both his peers and colleagues. He has been a valued leader and mentor to many. His many contributions to the Kern County Probation Department will be greatly missed, and he has wished the best in his future endeavors. Now, therefore, it is resolved that the Board of Supervisors of County of Kern, State of California, does hereby honor and commend Michael Forrest upon his retirement of 28 years of dedicated service to Kern County, adopted February 11th, 2025. Mr. Forrest, Kern County is entirely grateful for your career of service and commitment to this community. Your years of service, offering your talent and dedication, has helped improve our safety and services to our neighbors. We wish you well in your retirement. I would like to offer Chief Dickerson to come on up and say a few words about this wonderful gentleman. And also, I want to present this to you right now. And this is just a beautiful resolution signed by all the board members. Congratulations. I tell you, it's not an easy career what you did, and you did it so well, my friend, and I want to thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Supervisor Parlier. Madam Chair, members of the board, it's my honor to be here today to talk about Mike Forrest. We talk about probation in terms of family, our probation family. Some of his probation family is here today to help celebrate him, but he took that to a whole new level. See, he comes by this honestly. His father, Richard Forrest, was a longtime probation officer who retired from our department, and Mike had the pleasure of their careers crossing paths as Mike began and as Mr. Forrest ended. But if that wasn't enough, he met his wonderful bride, Christine, when they both worked at Juvenile Hall in the 90s as well, and they remain happily married today. And luckily for me, Christine's remaining employed with us and not retiring, so we still get to have a Forrest in the family. In fact, we have an agreement that until another Forrest comes along, she has to stay since this guy left. So But, you know, you talk about the things you talk about with, and you think about like character and integrity. And oftentimes it's not just what you say, it's what people see. And I think that's magnified when you give people authority. So in our profession, you know, Mike's had authority over people on his caseloads who are in our facilities detained, and his character and integrity just shine through. And to magnify it even more, he was in positions of authority over other staff and positions of leadership for our department. And I can tell you without a doubt that his integrity and his character were never, ever in question. His ability to be a role model and a mentor for his staff is impeccable. He truly embodies the work of what we do and fulfilling that dual role that we talk about often of providing accountability, but also providing opportunities. You hear about all these assignments he's had, and that's not by happenstance. You know, when sometimes some of them were through promotion, other times it's through, you know, we needed someone to fill a spot. And when you start talking about things like that, it's like, well, who can do this well? Well, Mike can. He can do it well. And so he was chosen for a lot of those positions on purpose. And so it's just my pleasure to be here today with you, Mike, and thank you for a great career that you've had with our department, and wish you nothing but the best in the future. So give it to you to say a few words.
Yeah, I just want to thank you guys for this honor. It's just nice to be acknowledged. You know, when you retire, you reflect back of the years of service, and it does become just emotional. But to work for such a great chief and to work alongside of so many good people within the probation department, I really appreciate the support of the Board of Supervisors to support the probation department and to continue our mission within the community. But to be a civil servant, to work with such great people and our chief, it's really an honor. So I do appreciate this honor, and I thank the public for who are here to continue doing the county business, but thank you for the opportunity. But thank you, sir. Appreciate
Is
you
your
guys.
wife here? Let's have her stand up.
And there's my wife. Yeah, yes, she is. All right, thank you very
sir.
much. I appreciate
Thank you.
it.
Yeah, these are probation family in the back. I assume you guys may be leaving, but can you stand and be recognized? Members of our probation department. Thank you very much. Always good to have you with us. We're going to take a matter out of order this morning, and I'm going to call on Supervisor Peters. He has a special presentation he'd like to make.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I appreciate you letting us take this out of order. We have some guests here from the Kern River Valley, and I wanted to give them an opportunity to get back on the road if they desired to, instead of having to wait through the meeting. So, Robbie, if you want to come down and join me down here at the dais, we'll say a few words. Good morning, Madam Chair, members of the board. Every year we recognize a resident in the 1st District as our Citizen of the Year, somebody that's made some especially noteworthy or remarkable contributions to our district. But I thought it would be appropriate this year to talk about Robbie Miller, as he not only works in the 1st District but also throughout the county. Robbie has, he's got an incredible story. I won't go too far in depth into it. If you guys want to learn more about the story, it really is a heartwarming story you can see on his website, strengthofshadows.org. But Robbie faced a lot of challenges, a lot of adversity, made some poor decisions at one point, wound up incarcerated in Oklahoma. And after moving back to California, he decided that he wasn't going to let that define who he is. He wasn't going to let that define his life. And Robbie, shortly after moving back to Kern County, adopted a dog named Shadow. And Shadow had some challenges as well, and some more hard times in front of her. And together with Robbie, they got through it. And It really is a remarkable story. But in 2018, Robbie decided he was going to give back and really focus on his passion, which is animals. And he started the Strength of Shadow Dog Rescue, where they not only rescue and rehabilitate and rehome dogs, they provide resources to community members. They organize spay and neuter clinics. They volunteer. They are at our adoption events. Whatever they can do to give back to the community, they're out there doing it. Robbie and Jen and his whole team over there are just really remarkable, and I thought this would be a great opportunity to showcase a little bit about what they're doing. And before I ask Robbie to say a few words, I wanted to invite up our own Animal Services Director, Nick Colin, to say a few words as well.
Madam Chair, members of the board, it's an honor to stand here today and to say a few words about my friend Robbie Miller, the District 1 Citizen of the Year. Robbie's story, certainly one of redemption, resilience, compassion.
Here, here.
You know, not just for animals, but for people.
Here, here.
He has a passion for his community. He has a passion for the lives that he touches every day. Robbie's journey is one that inspires anyone who hears it. I do encourage you to check out the website and read Robbie's story. After spending some time in prison, he did make a powerful decision to stop taking from the world and to start giving back. That decision not only transformed his life, but it also created a ripple effect that has changed countless lives since then. At the center of that transformation was Shadow, a dog that, much like Robbie, had survived incredible odds. Their bond was more than special, and it was healing. It was life-changing, and it was the beginning of something remarkable. Since then, Robbie has dedicated his life to saving dogs and placing them with people who, in many cases, need saving just as much as those dogs do. He's poured his heart into this mission, not for recognition, not for awards, but because he knows firsthand what it means to be given a second chance. I've had the privilege of seeing Robbie in action. He's not just a partner in the work that we do at Kern County Animal Services. He's someone that I deeply respect. Together, we've knocked on doors across this county. We've encouraged people, strongly sometimes, to spay and neuter their pets. We've shared resources, we've brainstormed new ideas, and we've dreamed about the future that we want for pets and people in Kern County. He's integral in forming Kern Safe, a multi-agency coalition that is intended to prevent euthanasia of shelter pets. It's a project that continues to save lives today. But what impresses me most about Robbie is his heart. I've watched him hand out supplies in the back of a pickup truck, leashes, collars, food, to pet owners that he knows that by supporting them, that he's supporting the animals that mean so much to them. That's the kind of man Robbie is, a man who truly lives the values of kindness, generosity, and hope. Robbie, you're a friend. You're a leader. You're a force for good in this county, and I want to congratulate you on this well-deserved recognition. And thank you for everything you've done and continue to do for Kern County and the pets that we love.
Well, Robbie, I just wanted to also say thank you very much for everything you and your team do, and I wanted to present you with this certificate of recognition, and just let you know you have the appreciation of everybody in the county, and I want to give you an opportunity to say a few words if you'd like. You don't have to.
Good morning, supervisors. I just want to thank you guys, especially Nick and Philip, for proving that second chances are obtainable. You know, I did 12 years in prison. I was very a part of the prison politics, and I'm just a guy that was able to use dogs as a tool to rehabilitate myself. And I wouldn't have been able to do it without my awesome support system. And I just want to thank you guys too for approving the spay and neuter funds that you guys just did. It's really helping the community. And again, Philip and Nick, thank you for always being available to hear my ideas and even help make them come to life sometimes. And I'm very appreciative of you too. And I appreciate you. I love all you guys.
It is so nice to hear from you, Nick. It was such a beautiful, prepared statement about this righteous soul. Thank you. You know, I'm compelled to share my favorite doggy quote. I'm a big dog lover. I can't remember who said it. Louis VII, maybe. I could be wrong. But in regarding dogs, he said, "We love them because they know but do not tell." That's why a dog's a man's best friend, because they zip it up, right? Thank you for what you do. We got a lot of work to do in spay and neuter. We've had an incredible journey, but this body has demonstrated time and time again how committed we are to it. And Supervisor Peters, you're lucky to have such a constituent. You really are. And I don't know if he ever plans to run for office, but if he does, you might be in some trouble. Supervisor Peters, better stay on your heels. Stay on your toes, rather. Okay, thank you. That was beautiful. Moving along to public presentations, this portion of the meeting is reserved for members of the public who would like to address this body on matters that are within our jurisdiction, so something that the County of Kern has business in and can do something about. Not all matters fall into that category, but if you are interested in commenting on matters that are not on today's agenda, but are within the jurisdiction of the Board of Supervisors, now is the time. I just give 1 second, Mr. Shin, for folks to exit. I don't want it to interrupt your presentation. Okay. Good morning.
Good morning, Madam Chair. Good morning to the supervisors. My name is Charles Shin. I am a retired Marine. I'm a concerned citizen also. God bless America. Amen. I would like to start off with a big thank you and a congratulations. I want to thank both chairwomen who are the chairs in our committee, and the great work, the thoughtful questions that they've presented, and the forwarding of information to make a big decision. I think the entire supervisors need to be thanked for the decision they made last supervisors meeting. It was a big one, and I appreciate it as a community member and as a voter. Also, I have the EVAS update. I have been in contact with the Chief Elections Information Officer of the EAC, Elections Accountability Commission, and the report that we're looking forward to will be due or available on the 30th of June. So that's only 4 months and 17 days, but who's counting? Our 5-year report, a reminder that that is over a year old, and the reason why we asked for that 5-year report on removals was because our previous EVAS report was missing a lot of information on removals, and that's why we wound up in a Judicial Watch lawsuit. And just a few fine points from last night's meeting, just looking at some key identifying information that winds up missing, which I think needs to be rectified. On birthplace, we have 105,689 blank birthplace for people that are registered. And also we have almost 2,000 that says they're born in the U.S. So I think those things like that need to be corrected, and I appreciate your time. Thank you.
Mr. Shin, thank you. Good morning, Jess.
Good morning.
Please state your name for the record.
Jesse Sanders.
Thank you.
Good morning, Board.
Morning.
So I would like to know, and get this to me later, how to approach the board to get a Doge type investigation into a lot of our budgeting going. I think that would do really well to allocate monies and make sure they're used like they're supposed to. I mean, if you look at firefighters, love them, but I think it's a waste of money to send them out with a hook and ladder to get a cat out of a tree. I think they should call the SPCA. Those money shouldn't be wasted on that. I don't think if anybody's ever seen a cat skeleton in a tree, but I think we could reallocate resources, time, and money better than we do. And I just would like some guidance on how to promote a DOJ-type investigation on many of our budget items.
Thank you, Jess. Supervisor Parlier?
I want to ask the CAO, just talk about our auditing process that we normally do and that kind of review.
Supervisor Parlier, through the chair. So yeah, we have our auditor controller is the designated authority that, on behalf of your board, does by annual audits of departments on various things. They also can take requests from your board to review, do reviews of certain things and have in the past. So that is the our official duty for the Auditor Controller's Office. In addition, we have a compliance and accountability role within the CAO's office. So we do have a dedicated officer who follows up on any type of audit or review that's done either from an outside agency or one that's done by the Auditor Controller, so that there's a follow-up process with the goal of trying to achieve minimal repeat findings, if any, and to have a presence out in the department. But if there are specific things the board would like to look at and ask the Auditor Controller to do that, that would be the body to do.
Thank you. We have Supervisor Couch and Supervisor Peters punched in. Supervisor Couch, your thoughts?
Excuse me. In a way, we were Doge before there was Doge.
Thank you.
And I'm going to tell you how. At least one of the ways.
Couch is so good.
And I don't even remember what year this was, but it was maybe 10 years ago. We started that Lean Six Sigma process where, and we haven't seen one of those presentations lately, so you're probably not familiar with what we did. I shouldn't say we did it. We asked the departments to do this, and all departments across the board looked at their processes of how they handle issuing a permit or whatever that department did that was sort of a repetitive process. And they went through that Lean Six Sigma process where they looked at, do our customers or our clients who we're working for care about this step or that step? Is it required by law that we do all these steps? And they took waste out of the process, which really just gets things done a little bit faster, maybe a little bit cheaper, and frees up an employee's time to do something different. But so it's not really going in and looking at, hey, was this dollar spent where it was supposed to be spent? But it was even in my opinion, a little bit more in-depth look at the operations of a particular department or a particular job function. So I'd like to ask if you could sort of rekindle that. If we could, I don't know if the last one I went to was maybe a year ago. When I say that one, I mean there was a meeting of multiple teams in different departments where they presented their project or their study they had done, and but we haven't had one come into the board and give us a presentation. And a few years ago they were doing that, and we saw some great ones. I'm told by our chair through our clerk a piece of information that I had forgotten because I think I'm on this committee. And we meet about every 3 or 4 months, which is the Standing Audit Advisory Committee. Now, mostly what that does is that's the board, 2 members of the board and 1 outside member that meets with our auditor controller, and through discussion, they end up focusing on where the real money is. And where the real problems could occur. But, so there's a lot going on that you don't see at this meeting. And maybe we need to highlight that a little bit more somehow, but we're on the right track, in my opinion.
Is there a way the public can see where that money has been spent or how it's being spent? Can I go on a website and look? And that's part of the,
You know what, this is probably a longer conversation.
Okay.
But we should have it. And there probably is, but the question needs to be not as broad as, can I see how all the money is spent in the 4-point-something billion dollar county budget, but can I look at this area and see what's happening and sort of
Baby
hone in
steps.
on what you're interested in?
Madam Chair, if I may.
Please.
We're happy to, I can have him speak with Elsa Martinez and give him the contact information, and we can sit down with him and show him what we have available that's publicly available to review and help understand some of our reporting process.
I think it would go a long way. And Jess, the committee that Supervisor Couch is referring to is a similar subcommittee like we're doing in elections. So diving in, doing a deep dive on areas that are of concern, and that is absolutely possible here as you wrap your head more and more around the particulars of the county, which is, takes time, right?
Yeah,
But as
if
you
you like
just,
meetings, we can get you to some meetings, a bunch of them.
so that's something to think about too, Jess. But I want to say that I see Supervisor Peters is also punched in, and then Supervisor Flores.
Thank you, Madam Chair. One thing I wanted to address was Lean Six Sigma, like Supervisor Couch did. I don't know what the latest numbers are, but the last time I looked at it, if I remember correctly, I want to say it was roughly $20 million through incentives that employees had identified as savings, as well as over 100,000 man-hours saved in certain projects through that Lean Six Sigma. There was also, to your point about the budget, there is a budget transparency website or a page on the county website. So if you just Google Kern County Budget Transparency, it should pop right up. And then lastly, I would have to ask either Supervisor Couch or Perez about this, but I want to say maybe 6 or 7 years ago, it was before I was on the board, I think that there was an independent company that was brought in by the county to audit or to make budget recommendations specifically for the fire department to go through and find efficiencies and savings there.
did they find any cats in the trees?
I don't know. They might have. You never
Sorry.
know.
Jess, you'd be amazed. A neighbor came to me last summer, cat in the tree. Big tree, Alta Vista, big tall tree. Was devastated because they called the fire department, and the fire department no longer does cats in the trees.
Yay.
So I thought you'd be happy about that, Jess. That cat's
was
got
yay.
to figure it out on its own. We're serious here. Okay, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you,
Yeah,
Supervisor.
no problem. That's all. I just wanted to share some of those points on there. Thanks.
Thank you. Supervisor Flores.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Sanders. That's actually a good exercise, especially at the federal level, because the amount of waste and things that they're finding is actually egregious. So look closer to home. It's actually an ongoing process, and I just want to share this. This might be of interest to you. PM 24 this afternoon. Some of these things that we're asking for, we're concerned about, are kind of naturally embedded on a monthly basis or weekly basis. So we're going to have a transparent online permitting system report from Public Works, which is a kind of a comprehensive overview of their systems, their staffing, their permitting. So those are like natural efficiencies which are occurring, throughout the weeks, throughout the months, and also hopefully we'll use that as a springboard for other departments to streamline, to improve, to be more efficient, to save taxpayer dollars, and to ultimately help the customers which they serve. So I'm looking forward to that presentation and hearing public feedback and listening about the working group and who wants to participate. They're going to have some committees on that. The more eyes, the better. So thank you.
Was that 2 p.m. today?
PM.
Here.
2 o'clock, yeah.
Thank you, sir.
The other thing, Jess, I'm going to ask my dear friend Pam to work this out, the details of it with my office. We got to do the tour that we talked about. We've got actually 2 to do. We've got the coroner's office and we got the elections division. So while we're taking a little bit of slower pace on our election subdivision just for the next 60 days or so, I want to fill that time with the tours. Charles, and Pam, if you guys could just organize that with my office to get it on calendar. And let's just continually explore how to make that information more user-friendly, have it make sense to the Jess Sanders and of the world, if you will, because sometimes it's like another language altogether. So if we could do that, I'd appreciate it. But to Jeff's point, the more eyes, the better. And thank you.
Thank you.
Appreciate you very much. Were you done, Supervisor Flores?
Yeah, thank you, thank you.
Okay. Public presentations? My goodness. A miracle in action.
Medical miracle.
I mean it, too. It's good to
Yep.
see you, Pam.
Thank you. Mademoiselle Supervisor and gentlemen, Mr. Parlier, your new friend. Yes, I just had brain surgery Wednesday at USC. I was supposed to be put in a coma for 7 days or so and relearn everything, and I was not. I came out of it, they brought me back. Sunday is when I came home, and Wednesday is when they did the very invasive surgery. I just like to remind people, listen to your doctors. If they want to do a CAT scan, or if you're feeling a little ooky, talk to your doctor. Tell them what's up. And get a scan. Check it out. Because things are there lying dormant sometimes. This was an aneurysm that was there for 4 years, didn't know about it. So, everybody I saved my life. And I got the best care ever at USC Keck, William Etta Keck Neurosurgical Center. And number 2, what is dose? You guys were saying something. Oh, and when you mentioned this is good exercise, I thought you were talking about climbing the trees to get the cats. I thought, well, all right, Jeff. That's great, good exercise.
Those darn cats.
But,
So, Pam,
Doge.
I think what they're referring to is the new federal agency created not federal agency, a department-like operation under President Trump involving Elon Musk and others that are looking at the efficiency of government and essentially major audits, major slashing, and a review of such things. So I believe, and I interpreted that to be a similar audit process, if you will.
Yes, and I like that Lean Sigma 6. We ought to make a beautiful logo with an L, Sigma, and a 6, and practice it. Kern County ought to be the best at it.
That's right.
You know?
That's right.
It's not a puzzle. We're all smart. I'm so glad to see all your smiling, smart, beautiful, brilliant faces. And that's all I have to say. And I brought my son, Ian Reese.
Oh, my goodness, he's here.
Yes.
I can't believe that.
Yep.
Pam, what has happened with you is an absolute miracle. I was expecting the worst, and we were preparing for
We
the
all
worst.
were.
We were not going to leave your side, but this is really quite miraculous.
I
and
was
I'm-
anointed twice, appointed, and I'm large and in charge.
That's right. Thank you, sister. It's good to see you.
Thank you.
And welcome to your son. Okay, other members of the public who would like to weigh in on matters not on today's agenda, but within the jurisdiction of the Board of Supervisors. Good morning.
Good morning, Chair and Board of Supervisors. Janine Adams, Tehachapi. And first, thank you, Madam Chair, for indulging us in the public with a little bit more immediate response from the Board of Supervisors. Greatly appreciated. But the thing I wanted to say is I wanted to thank this board, but primarily Supervisor Peters, for being the person that on this board that brought up the creation of the Legislative Affairs Committee. And this board approved the creation of that Legislative Affairs Committee. And I did attend the meeting yesterday. Thank you, Supervisor Flores and Supervisor Peters. I think that this is going to be very important as far as adding transparency to our government processes. And so for that, I want to thank this board, and I was very pleased with the very first meeting. And anyway, that's that. Secondly, I would like to thank the board for allowing our County Administrative Office to be available to the public with regard to if they have questions on financial, how to read financial things. I try to keep up on our financial situation, and it is quite confusing. Of course, her staff has got a lot more experience than I do, but I am a member of the public, and I have the right to understand how our funds are did you say 4.9 billion?
4.4.
4.4, okay. $4.4 billion budget, which obviously is substantial. So thank you for that. I would also be interested in, I'll contact, Madam Chair, I will contact your office. I'd be also interested in touring the Elections Department, since you're going to be doing that with other members of the public, and I think it's important that various groups have the opportunity to do that with you. Thank you.
Absolutely, couldn't agree more. Thank you, please reach out. I'm so thrilled to hear that yesterday's meeting went well with Supervisors Flores and Peter. That's new, so that's exciting. Happy to hear that. Thank you for your feedback. Good morning, sir.
Good morning, Daniel Rodella, community organizer with Faith in the Valley, resident of West Kern, District 2. Public Affairs and Religious Liberty Director affiliated with the Church State Council and a person of faith. I'm going to say a few things that I shared during a recent Taft City Council meeting that I think would be great to mention here as well. Claiming that the Constitution protects only citizens is misinformed and lacks support, as we see that the 4th, 5th, and 14th Amendments afford equal protection under the law for all people residing in this country, including this county, documented or not. 9 days ago, on a Sunday, DEA HSI agents stormed zip code 93268, targeting the Hispanic indigenous community on their way to work. Fear and terror roamed the streets, but those who were stopped did what they could to exercise their constitutional rights. Other brave community members used their right to record what was happening and documented this injustice. Today, I urge you, county supervisors, especially you, Supervisor Parlier, to use your power and influence to ensure that all people in this community feel safe. The day after this happened, we heard that over 30% of students from the Taft City and Taft Union High School districts missed class, which begs the question of how safe they feel at school and in their community. School districts typically lose $50 a day when a student is absent, which means that this situation caused absences that potentially cost our local school districts roughly $60,000 each. That could be somebody's salary, Over 20 local businesses closed their doors, highlighting the other adverse economic impacts on the city as well. 93268. And I'm not even highlighting religious liberty and financial implications for local houses of worship. This should definitely be something that you should be highly concerned about, especially when there's questionable immigration enforcement tactics happening in our communities.
Sir, I'm so sorry. I'm going to have to ask you
Sure.
to bring your, thank you.
Sure.
We're past the time, almost 30 seconds. I'm sorry.
Thank you very much. Hopefully we can meet Mr. Parlier.
I look forward to it. Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir. Any other members of the public would like to come down? Now would be the time to do so. And we're happy to hear from you.
Good morning. My name's Anna, first name A-N-A, last name Medel, M-E-D-E-L. Before I begin, I would like to express that all views that I say today are my own. I am a library associate with the Kern County Library. I have been an employee of the library department since September of 2023. Seeing as the library is one of the least funded county departments, I wanted to start by reminding your board of the vital services that the library provides. Aside from everyday services like checking books in and out, shelving library materials, and assisting patrons with library-related questions, the library is a space of education that gears its services towards enabling the general public to seek support in goals they hope to accomplish. Through partnerships with other organizations, the library is able to provide free meals year-round to children ages 2 to 18, provide programming aimed at children, teens, and adults, and distribute resources to the general public, such as job listings, streaming services, language learning tools, technology assistance, and Narcan, which I will remind your board that tackling opioid overdoses has been a large concern of yours for at least the past year. Aside from necessary services, programs also provide patrons with spaces to be creative and relax, with programs such as adult coloring and coffee, yoga, Dungeons and Dragons campaigns, movie screenings, painting events, and so much more. I love working for the library and sharing needed resources to the public, but it sucks when the extent of the work that I can do is limited by individuals who have no idea what goes on in our libraries. We are understaffed, underpaid, overworked, and overwhelmed. Some staff members have been with the county for over a decade, and they have not received any or adequate pay raises. Most library staff are capable and qualified enough to work elsewhere, but we choose to be here. We choose to give back to the communities that support us. Each and every one of your county employees is passionate about the jobs that they do. It's disheartening to know that you don't place the same value in your employees that we do. At the end of the day, it's not just county employees who are shortchanged. It's county residents, taxpayers that are. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Hello, Daryl. Good morning.
Good morning.
Nice to see you. Welcome.
Welcome. Honorable Madam Chair and Honorable Supervisors. Good morning. My name is Daryl Terrell. I'm a City of Moreno Valley resident in Riverside County. I'm here to ask you to consider adopting my county's, Riverside County's catalytic converter unlawful possession ordinance that I call the one and you're done ordinance. The lawmakers in Sacramento dropped the ball. Under current state law, AB 641, if an individual possesses 9 or more detached catalytic converters without a dismantling permit, it's a license violation, a slap on the wrist. What kind of sense that makes? That's why I dubbed this law the 8 You Skate law. It creates a legal loophole that allows a thief to steal up to 8 catalytic converters and nothing happens to them. These thieves profit from your residents and for the people in your business community, especially the agriculture community. And that's why our 58 counties have to close that loophole. On September 12, 2023, my county board of supervisors passed and adopted that ordinance, which was later adopted by all our cities in our county. We have 28 cities, and they adopted that ordinance. And what it does, it closed that loophole. No matter you have 1 or 8, if you caught with it without a proof of ownership, it's a crime. And you face possibility of jail time, 6 months up to a year. And so many of our counties are under the 8 You Skate law. And that's why I've attended county boards of supervisors like Ventura, Los Angeles, Orange County, Imperial County to ask them to consider adopting this ordinance. So there could be consistency in our catalytic converter theft laws across 58 counties. That's the only way we're going to deter. We can't count on Sacramento to do this. We as counties, 58 counties, have to stick together to hold these people accountable so our residents get some justice. Thank you.
Daryl, thank you so much. The crowd likes you, apparently. I really wanted to ask you to please give my CAO is ready for you. We need your contact information, and we want to discuss this matter. Supervisor Flores, is that now or earlier?
Oh,
Was that from
Peters.
earlier?
That's Peters.
My goodness. Peters?
Yeah, it's from
That's
now.
now?
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you. My goodness. Okay. So when we're done here, I need you to please give your information to my CA's office. We actually discussed this matter yesterday in our agenda review, so we were aware you were going to be here today. Nice, excellent presentation. Thank you. But it looks like Supervisor Peters has some input.
I appreciate it. At the urging of some of our law enforcement officials out in Ridgecrest, I brought up the potential for some catalytic converter ordinance language a while back, and I know we discussed it in here. I don't remember what the outcome was of that. That was before then Assemblyman Fong introduced that bill, AB 641 that you mentioned. But I would like to ask our county council, maybe not necessarily today, but if you could take a look at this and give us your opinion on how we could implement something like this in Kern County, I would appreciate it.
Supervisor Peters, through the chair, we're happy to do so, and we'll report back when we've sorted it out a bit.
Thank you so much, Council. Thank you, Supervisor Peters. Darrell, excellent work.
Yes,
Please
ma'am.
provide your contact information, and we'll move from there.
Yes, ma'am. 'Cause
Thank you, sir.
You know, I was, to say, because I drove, now if people don't know where Merino Valley is, that's like probably 3 hours away from here.
Wow.
But I came here because of the working people in this community, especially in the agriculture community. Because my district attorney and the county council had issues about, well, there was some constitutionality, but they worked it out.
Okay.
And that was the most important thing, because San Bernardino County did it too. They did it before us. But since in my community, there were things going on. My friend at work.
Okay, Darrell, we're now acting like it's a matter on agenda, so it's a little bit of a legal issue. I'm so sorry. But we're gonna, if you can provide that contact, we're gonna move, okay? And it looks like you have some support from Supervisor Peters, so that's not a small deal. Thank you, Supervisor, for your input. Anybody else on the public portion, public presentations portion of our agenda? Seeing no one, we're gonna move right along to board member announcements or reports. Gentlemen?
I have a quick question.
Supervisor Couch.
The elections discussion made me remember this. Can you find out for me what someone does when they, for example, in the special election that's coming up this month, if I haven't received a ballot? What do I do? That I'm supposed to get a ballot in the mail, what do I do? Thank you.
All right. Is that it, Supervisor? Okay. So moving on from board member announcements or reports, we will move to our remaining item on the agenda, which can be found on page 6. It is item 36 under Public Health Services. We see our staff is preparing presentation on the department's 2025 Health Education and Awareness campaign called Disease Fighters, which highlights efforts to prevent disease in Kern County residents. The floor is yours. Welcome. Good morning. Good to see you.
Good morning, Madam Chair and members of the board. My name is Bryn Kerrigan, your Director of Kern County Public Health. As your board is aware, we have made it an annual tradition at Kern County Public Health to launch an annual health education and awareness campaign, and this year is no exception to that tradition. Every year, Kern County residents face exposure to infectious diseases in various aspects of daily life, whether at home, work, school, or while enjoying recreational activities. We encounter potential risks from inhaling airborne germs and particles, consuming contaminated food, touching surfaces harboring harmful bacteria and viruses, or even through mosquito bites. The impact of infectious disease is significant. Infectious diseases affect far too many residents each year, compromising individual health and quality of life and placing a heavy burden on our healthcare system. In fact, nearly 220,000 incidents of infectious disease were reported in Kern County in 2024 alone. Infectious diseases can strike unexpectedly, and none of us are completely immune to them. As your board is aware, I personally became acutely aware of the dangers of infectious disease when I was diagnosed with a rare form of valley fever called cocci-meningitis last year, just one of many infectious diseases circulating in our community. Kern County Public Health is tirelessly working to combat those health threats, often behind the scenes, safeguarding our well-being. Today, we're proud to launch our new annual campaign, Disease Fighters, to raise awareness and empower our community to take action in the fight against infectious disease. Madam Chair, with your indulgence, I would like to show a quick 4-minute video that highlights the disease-fighting work performed by Kern County Public Health employees every day.
My superpower is fighting maternal and infant mortality in the community every day. I'm Crystal, a program specialist in the Black Infant Health Program, and I'm a disease fighter.
My superpower is education, by educating the community on how to act during emergency situations. I'm Edlin, and I'm an emergency medical services coordinator, and I'm a disease fighter. My superpower is educating the community on preventable diseases. I'm Vivian, I'm a public health nurse in field nursing, and I'm a disease fighter.
My superpower is helping prevent the spread of bloodborne pathogens when you get a tattoo or piercing. Hi, my name is Brian. I'm an environmental health specialist, and I'm a disease fighter.
My superpower is helping people get tested for STDs. Hi, my name is Erica. I'm a public health project specialist with the HIV STD team, and I'm a disease fighter.
My superpower is protecting our community against vaccine-preventable diseases. Hi, my name's Jasmine, and I'm part of the immunization program, and I am a disease fighter.
My superpower is testing for valley fever. I'm Stephanie, and I'm a microbiologist that works in the lab, and I'm a disease fighter. My superpower is getting a disease outbreak under control. Hi, I'm Vanessa, an epidemiologist who investigates disease outbreaks to keep our community safe, and I'm a disease fighter. My superpower is getting our CCS clients' medical bills paid. I'm Melissa, a billing office specialist for California Children's Services, and I'm a disease fighter.
Kern County continues. Kern County continues to face disproportionately high rates of both infectious disease and chronic health conditions, and unfortunately, these rates are on the rise. In fact, it's not uncommon for me to report that Kern County has the highest rates of certain diseases or is even experiencing record-breaking levels of disease incident, as we've seen with conditions like syphilis, HIV, and valley fever. I wanted to take a moment to quantify some of the prevention, identification, treatment, mitigation, and support work that's being done by Kern County Public Health to fight diseases in Kern County. Madam Clerk, if you'll put the slide on the screen. In 2024, we processed just under 220,000 reportable disease incidents in Kern County. These incidents include cases of sexually transmitted diseases, HIV, valley fever, as well as foodborne and vector-borne illnesses. Each of these diseases is unique. Some require only a basic report, while others demand intensive case management, contact tracing, exclusion from sensitive occupations like childcare and food service, and disease clearance testing, among other steps. When you consider that Kern County's population is just over 900,000 people, it becomes clear that infectious disease is impacting a significant portion of our community each year. At Kern County Public Health, much of our work revolves around combating infectious diseases, whether directly or indirectly. Our efforts span the entire spectrum of disease management, from early diagnosis and effective treatment to prevention strategies and ongoing support. We are committed to not only addressing the immediate needs of those affected, but also to implementing proactive measures that help prevent the spread of these diseases throughout our community. By focusing on both individual care and broader public health initiatives, we work to safeguard the health of every resident in Kern County. Let's quickly look at some of the work that we did in 2024 related to disease incidents in Kern County. Our Kern County Public Health Laboratory resulted 31,855 specimens in 2024. These results were used to diagnose and treat diseases like valley fever, tuberculosis, syphilis, HIV, salmonella, shigella, just to name a few. Our clinics offer preventative health care as well as testing, diagnosis, and treatment for a wide range of infectious diseases. In 2024, our dedicated staff delivered clinical services during 9,357 patient encounters across multiple locations, including Bakersfield, Ridgecrest, Shafter, and Delano. Additionally, our mobile clinic had its most successful year to date, providing care during 573 patient visits, extending our reach to even more residents in need. Preventing the spread of infectious diseases is a key focus of our work as well. In addition to raising public awareness and providing education, we collaborate with businesses to ensure they operate safely and in ways that protect the health of our community. In 2024, we educated and issued permits to 1,431 new businesses and conducted 28,363 health inspections to maintain high standards of safety and hygiene. Supporting our residents during times of need is a core aspect of our infectious disease efforts. To ensure our community receives the assistance they deserve, we staff a call center during regular business hours, offering direct, personalized support with a smile rather than a complicated phone menu. In 2024, our call center and reception teams handled 73,421 calls addressing inquiries, providing education, delivering lab results, scheduling clinic appointments, and connecting callers with vital resources. As I mentioned earlier, infectious diseases place a significant strain on our healthcare system. We oversee the pre-hospital emergency medical services system, which plays a crucial role in responding to these challenges. In 2024, Kern County saw a record 138,535 emergency medical calls, or people calling 911 in a medical emergency. This is the highest number in a single year that we've seen in Kern County. Our EMS program ensures the system remains adaptable with the appropriate resources available to meet the needs of our community during critical moments. Promoting healthy lifestyles is essential for our residents to give our residents the best chance to prevent and fight off infectious diseases. Our Know Your Numbers program travels throughout Kern County, offering valuable nutrition and fitness education. In 2024, the program reached a record number of 855 participants, the highest number we've seen to date. Additionally, our Waste Hunger Not Food initiative addresses food insecurity by rescuing healthy food that otherwise would go to waste. In 2024, this program successfully rescued over 1 million pounds of food, redistributing it for free to residents in need. Disease incidence in Kern County is a significant challenge, and addressing it requires a collective effort. While Kern County Public Health remains dedicated to protecting the health of our residents, we also need the support of our community. That's why we've launched our Disease Fighters campaign. Each month, we will focus on a specific infectious disease, highlighting the efforts Kern County Public Health has to combat it and providing education to our residents on how they can play an active role in this fight. Madam Chair, with your indulgence, I would like to show a quick 30-second public service announcement that launches today and will be shown on all local television stations.
Let's see it.
Valley fever,
West Nile virus,
salmonella,
HIV. Every year, thousands of Kern County residents are exposed to infectious diseases in our daily lives, from breathing in germs and particles, eating contaminated food, touching surfaces, or from the bite of a mosquito.
Join Kern County Public Health and become a disease fighter.
Protect yourself, wash your hands often, avoid insect bites, and maintain a healthy lifestyle.
Learn how public health is fighting diseases in our community by visiting kernpublichealth.com. Thank you for your time today. Together, we can make a difference in Kern County. The Disease Fighter campaign is our opportunity to protect our loved ones, fight preventable diseases, and build a healthier community. Let's all take part in this important mission and become disease fighters for a healthier Kern County. I would like to take a moment to recognize and thank my incredibly talented marketing team who's here in the audience with me today. They're sitting right over here. So much of the work that we do at Kern County Public Health includes public education and awareness. They are a small but mighty team working behind the scenes to get these crucial messages out into our community. Madam Chair and members of the board, this concludes my presentation, and I'm available for any questions you may have.
Well, thank you, Bryn. That was an excellent presentation. I appreciated Pam's remarks about talking to your doctor, and taking serious, right, modern medicine, and knowledge is power. You have demonstrated that, Pam, and that is really the essence of your heart and spirit that I've seen from your team is very sophisticated, very professional, very devoted. You have a very special operation. It's really unique, and you guys are just really devoted in a way that is it's exciting because you're hip and you're fun. You're much cooler than me. So I appreciate that. So really, thank you for what you do. Colleagues, would you like to weigh in at all? If not, we will receive Supervisor Parlier.
Thanks, Bryn. Well, unfortunately, I was exposed to a vector years ago and have struggled with it ever since. With Lyme disease, I was on a meth lab low crawl when I was a special agent with the Department of Justice in an area called Tick Canyon, of all places. And I sit and still chair a committee within CDPH, California Department of Public Health, regarding this illness. So all your work is extremely important. I want to thank your team, too, because you're doing God's work. Thank you so much.
Okay. Is that a receive and file, Kathy?
You can if you'd like, sure.
Okay.
So moved.
Thank you, Supervisor Couch.
Second.
Oh, is there any public comment?
Oh, so sorry, forgive me. Public comment on the presentation we just saw. Okay, thank you. I think Supervisor Couch put forth a motion. Yeah, thank you. Put forth a motion. Do we have a second? Okay, we have a motion, a second. Please cast your votes.
The motion is approved. All ayes.
Okay, thank you again, and welcome. Thank you to your team. You guys are fun. That was super fun, creative. I'm sure you guys had fun filming it. It looked like it. So keep, fun is important. Thank you. I believe that brings us to the end of our morning agenda. We're going to close in a moment and adjourn to closed session, and then we'll be back at 2. Hint, hint, gentlemen.
Motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn. There it is. Thank you. We are adjourned.
You're just too quick. You're too quick.